Good evening, and we're glad to have you join us on the Major Reports. I am Olubomi Ajiboye Agbola. The National Population Commission has assured that its server is intact and ready to be deployed for the upcoming 2023 population and housing census exercise. The Commission spokesperson, Isiaka Yahaya, gave the assurance in a statement signed by him. The NPC's assurance came following a viral video where its staff in Niger State, Sanusi Megida, said the NPC server was hacked, which led to the postponement of the local government area's level training of the supervisors and enumerators for the census. Yahaya in the statement, however, said the information is false, adding that Megida acted without directive and authorization from the Commission and is currently facing disciplinary action for such embarrassing misinformation. The federal government has urged Nigerians in the crisis-torn country, Sudan, to stay where they are before the evacuation begins. Foreign Affairs Minister Geoffrey Onyama gave the advice while speaking to newsmen, saying Nigerian government is trying to get approval from the Sudanese government to undertake the long convoy journey and for them to provide the needed security. The minister disclosed that over 5,500 Nigerians are awaiting evacuation in the war-torn country. He also hinted that out of the number, 80% of them are students, adding that some countries had only evacuated their diplomatic staff and not all the citizens, as speculated in some quarters. Meanwhile, the National Emergency Management Agency has confirmed plans to evacuate over 2,000 Nigerians in crisis-hit Sudan tomorrow. The agency's Director, Special Duties, Onimo Bandele, gave the confirmation while speaking with newsmen in Abuja. According to him, he has found out in Khartoum that there are plans to get buses to start moving the stranded Nigerians out of Sudan by tomorrow morning. He hinted that the Director General, National Emergency Management Agency, Mustafa Habib, is already in Cairo to expedite action on the rescue mission. According to him, the movement is to be perfected between the Nigerian embassy in Khartoum and the NEMA Director General. In the meantime, a private airline in Nigeria has disclosed its readiness to evacuate stranded Nigerians in Sudan, Northeast Africa for free if the federal government can get them to a safe and secure airport in any of the neighboring countries bordering Sudan. This is disclosed in a statement today by the Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of the airline, Mr. Allen Oyema, noting that Nigerian students and others stranded in the war-racked nation have urgent needs of help. Mr. Oyema said he is compelled to assist because Nigeria cannot afford to lose our citizens in the country, adding that it will be his own commitment to making sure that the stranded Nigerians in the war-torn country are safe. In the same developments, Nigerians have called on the federal government to always be proactive in protecting the lives of the citizens in crisis situations. Those who made the call while reacting to the delay in evacuation of Nigerians in crisis-torn Sudan noted that it is high time the federal government prioritized the lives of Nigeria within and outside the country. Oluchi Amuda completes the story.
The situation in Sudan continued to escalate. The fate of Nigerians, most especially the students trapped in the crisis-torn country, has been a major source of concern to many. The clamor for their evacuation has been on, and it became more intense following the distress call made by some of the students pleading with the federal government to save their lives. The federal government had earlier announced that all airports and land borders in Sudan were closed as the emergency situation in the country was very complex. Different countries such as the United States, United Kingdom, China, among others, have commenced the evacuation of their citizens, which further emboldened Nigerians to call for prompt evacuation of Nigerians from Sudan. Reacting today, some Nigerians, including Dr. Soji Akinpelu, Mr. Bode Babalola, and Mr. Moses Obaditon, bemoaned what they described as the lackadaisical attitude of the federal government towards everything that has to do with the protection of lives and property of Nigerians, both within and outside the country. They noted that the crisis in Sudan, which has claimed hundreds of lives and displaced thousands of people, did not take the world by surprise. Hence, the government ought to have taken the necessary steps to ensure the safety of Nigerians.
What is happening in Sudan is a very, very sad event. That country has been at war for a very long time now, and the war has not settled down. And for Nigerians, I just pity those people who are there, because if we have to look at the way this present government is handling affairs of human beings in this country, you too, you have seen what happened. The cashless policy, the nonchalant attitude of Mr. President to, people suffering. I don't expect anything better from what they will do to our people in Sudan.
I don't think it would be fair to say Nigerian government is not showing enough concern. I would say we are not usually prepared for this kind of action. And if you even look internally, for several years, even within Nigeria, Boko Haram kidnapped Nigerians within Nigeria. What were we able to do?
By the time the war is over, you'll be counting the casualty of Nigerians there. Why? Because to us, our citizen does not really matter. The cost of life to us is immaterial. But if you look at America, they will dare not touch them. They would rather allow them to take their citizens away before they continue what they are doing. So we need to come back home and begin to ask our leader, what pride do they put on their citizenry?
Although the federal government, through the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has promised to commence evacuation of about 5,000 Nigerian citizens, mostly students, in Sudan from Tuesday, analysts have, however, called on government to ensure that all Nigerians trapped in the North African country are brought back home safely. Oluchi.
Ademola Adeleke has paid an unscheduled visit to Osun building located on Femi Okuno Road, Ikoyi, Lagos. Governor Adeleke, while inspecting the property in company of his aides, expressed disappointment at the facilities being managed as well as the secrecy surrounding the management by the consultant, whose identity amounts being remitted to the coffers of the state, as well as the terms of engagement are not specified, while assuring that the state government will carry out investigations to unravel the misery surrounding the property that was inherited from the old Oyo state. Governor Adeleke promised that he will leave no stone unturned in ensuring that assets of the state currently in private possessions will be retrieved and accounted for.
I'm going to be going around visiting all our properties. The way I did in Abuja, our leasing office was abandoned for that 20 years. So I said, okay, let me come and visit. And I came over here. I'm not happy with the way it is. Because any property that you want to do, I heard that it has been leased, to somebody. They have made it they converted it to an apartment. 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, and 1 apartment. That's what they did. So I went around to see what is going on. I also investigated. I asked people that live here, what's the deal about this ritual? And they are collecting service charges for people, and this is Koyi. And if you are collecting service charges, they're supposed to enjoy it. And that means that it's going to give us a bad name. Because it's still Osun property. So we're going to work out the modality of the lease or whatever, and then we come up with the winner. So no generator. Anytime you take light, that means that you don't have water in Ikoyi. And this is also state property.
Governor's Office correspondent Abdurrahim Adeklekun reports that the property has air conditioners that bears the inscription of Osun State government on them, while the environment looked unkept, with pack of sand soaked with water and refuse were dumped indiscriminately in the premises of the building. The first civilian governor of Osun State, late Alhaji Isiaka Adeleke, who was a brother to the incumbent governor, Senator Ademola Adeleke, has been described as the messiah of the southwest zone of Nigeria. The state director of administration of the ruling People's Democratic Party, Alhaji Sikurulai Mustafa, gave the description while speaking on Osbc TV current affairs program News Maker.
Dynasty started from the father. You know that the father is a former senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and he brought up his children in a godly and a good manner. So as a senator, the father, he produced the first executive governor of Osun State in person of Alhaji Isiaka Adeleke of blessed memory. He was a senator too. Then look at his brother. His brother is a senator too, and is now a governor. It's very rare. The dynasty have been very, very wonderfully doing good well. They are messiah in Osun State. Immediately they came into politics. The politics of Osun just changed. That is why Isiaka is called Serubawan. In 1991, anybody that familiar with the campaign of Isiaka Adeleke then and in SDP, we know that Isiaka Adeleke, well, you know, his mode of cap is very unique. You can see him anywhere he's going, people just feel at home. It's a real gem.
Osun State Coordinating Director for Ministry of Commerce, Industry, Cooperative and Empowerment, Mrs. Kehinde Odediran, has given assurance that the monitoring-free service will not relent in offering free services to the beneficiaries as and when due. Oluwatobi Loba Odunoga completes the story.
Bidding farewell to the passengers of the Mole Filtering Service who came home to celebrate the Eid-al-Fitr holiday with their families and loved ones, Coordinating Director, Ministry of Commerce, Industry, Cooperative and Empowerment, Mrs. Kehinde Odediran, assured that the administration of Governor Ademola Adeleke will continue to promote life-changing policies that will improve the quality of life of the people in Osun State. She admonished the beneficiaries of the Mole Filtering Service to reciprocate the good gesture of Governor Ademola Adeleke by paying their taxes regularly so as to keep enjoying the good works of the state government in order to make the state a better haven for all. The CD, Ministry of Commerce, Industry, Cooperative and Empowerment affirmed that the Mole Filtering Service will be available during subsequent festive holidays.
So far, we realize that the economy situation of the state has improved, and I want to assure the people of Osun State that a Mole free train ride has come to stay.
Some of the beneficiaries of the Mole Filtering Service who spoke in several interviews with Osbc News, including Mr. Kehinde Oladipo, Mrs. Temitoko Babalola, Mr. Wasiu Agbajilola, Mr. Wahab Sulaiman and Mr. Wasiu Yaya, among others, commended Governor Ademola Adeleke for sustaining the program, which they noted has helped in providing succor to families living outside Osun State to celebrate festivities with their loved ones at home. The passengers showered encomium on the state governor for his good gestures for making life bearable and their festive period a worthwhile experience for the people of the state and beyond. According to them, the Mole Filtering ride gave them an opportunity to spend the Eid-al-Fitr holiday with their families and loved ones.
Almighty God, we thank to use our governor to prepare this free train for people of Osun State. Our governor do best for us, so we thank God for him. We appreciate everything that our governor did in the Osun.
Big thank you to Ademola Adeleke.
The beneficiaries assured the government of their support towards ensuring the uplift of the state in all ramifications. Oluwa Tobiloba Odunuga, Osbc News.
The National Youth Service Corps has asked married female prospective corps members posted to states other than the one their husbands reside to request redeployment. This is disclosed by the scheme today via its Twitter handle, adding that until eligible participants of the scheme are sworn in the various camps they are deployed to, they are referred to as PCMs. The scheme also stated that once sworn in, they become core members and they spend a total of 21 days on camp, starting from the day of deployment. It added that the concerned core members are to report during the period of registration at the orientation camps with copies of their marital and other relevant documents as evidence. As the world marks World Book and Copyright Day, the Nigerian Copyright Commission has drawn the public attention to the endless possibilities of books while restating that it is intensifying the fight against piracy. This year's theme, Indigenous Languages, underscores the need to recognize linguistic diversity and the importance of preserving, promoting and encouraging the use of indigenous languages in literature and other creative works. The Director General of Nigeria Communication Commission, Dr. John Asen, stressed that the Commission guarantees adequate return on intellectual and financial investment in all creative sectors. He called for collaboration between all stakeholders in the creative sector and the Commission, adding that the NCC is working with relevant agencies in its public enlightenment campaigns as prelude to the full-scale national anti-piracy drive. The Nigeria Police says the Inspector General of Police, Usman Akali Baba, has sanctioned an investigation into resident electoral commissioner Udu Yunusa Harris' role in the recently held supplementary Adamawa State governorship election. This comes after the Commission's appeal to the IGP seeking an investigation and possible prosecution of Yunusa Harris over allegations of misconduct. The first public relations officer, Olumiyiwa Adejobi, has confirmed the developments. Adejobi noted that the Commission called on the police to investigate and possibly prosecute the REC for his actions. You are welcome to our sports segment. It's 1990. This weekend, Napoli will have to beat Salernitana in order to vow series a title this season. Oluwaranti Ojewumi shed more light on sports stories. A report.
Five-time world champions Nigeria have arrived in the Algerian city of Constantine for their final preparations for this year on the 17th Africa Cup of Nations, following complications that arose in the process of securing entry visa into Germany for a planned final training camp in that country. The Nigerian Football Federation opted to send the squad early to Algeria for their final build-up. The renowned city, where the Eaglets will play Morocco, Zambia and South Africa in Group B, is the choice. Golden Eagles swept all before them to win the WAFU B Under-17 Championship in Cape Coast, Ghana 10 months ago, and have put on display tremendous firepower in their preparations for the continental showcase. After resuming camp mid-March following the break for the general elections, the Eaglets played 10 friendly matches at their NFL FIFA Goal Project Abuja base, winning 11 of the matches and drawing the other one. They scored a total of 66 goals and conceded 14. Nigeria will launch a campaign for honors at the 12th-team Continental Championship on Sunday next week against Zambia at the 22-capacity state Mohamed Al-Laki. They will then take on Morocco and South Africa in other matches in Group B. The top 4 placed teams in Algeria will qualify to represent Africa at the FIFA Under-17 World Cup final scheduled for later this year. Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen has said Napoli fans have waited long enough for the Serie A and that is their turn to celebrate. Napoli edged closer to the Italian top flight title after beating Juventus 1-0 away on Sunday. A stoppage time goal from Giacomo Raspadori sealed the win for Napoli. The win took Luciano Spalletti's side to 17 points ahead of second place Lazio. A win for Napoli against Salernitana, and Lazio failed to beat Inter Milan. We see Osimhen and his team crowned champions. After the hard-fought win, Osimhen wrote on his Twitter that, "Dear Neapolitans, you have waited long enough. Now it's your turn." Osimhen still leads the top-scoring chart with 21 goals. Thousands of joyous Napoli supporters greeted the team early today, which brought the prospect of a historic Serie A title within touching distance. Fans flew banners and flags and sang songs as the team arrived shortly before the morning at the airport. It has been Oluwaranti Ochewumi for SBC News.
A Burkinabe local prosecutor has announced an investigation into the bloodshed of about 60 civilians killed in a village in northern Burkina Faso by men wearing military uniforms. Sarah Omidele has details of this story and more from the foreign scene.
Is blamed on suspected jihadists, which are on the rise in Burkina Faso. The country is battling an insurgency that spilled over from neighboring Mali. Wongiria High Court prosecutor Lamine Kabor told newsmen in a statement that about 60 people were killed by men wearing the uniforms of the National Armed Forces in the village of Kama in northern Yatanga province. According to the residents, survivors said more than 100 people on motorbikes and pickup trucks raided the village. Following the attack, Burkina Faso's military junta declared a general mobilization to give the state all necessary means to combat a string of bloody attacks blamed on jihadists affiliated with Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State group. Meanwhile, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, Burkina Faso's transitional president, has declared a goal of recapturing the 40% of the country's territory, which is controlled by jihadists. In another development, hundreds of people protested on the streets of several cities in northwestern Syria against warming ties between some Arab countries and President Bashar al-Assad. The biggest demonstration took place in Idlib, a stronghold of forces opposed to al-Assad, while smaller groups gathered in Azaz, a refuge for Syrians who fled from other parts of the countries amid the 12-year war, and Tal Abyad, a town on the Turkey-Syria border, among other locations in the country's northwest. Reports say small groups of people also staged protests in several European cities, including Amsterdam, Berlin and Vienna. Syria's civil war broke out after al-Assad repression of peaceful anti-government demonstrations in 2011 escalated into a deadly conflict that pulled in foreign powers and global armed groups. Meanwhile, more than 500,000 people have been killed and about half of the country's pre-war population has been forced from their homes. Sarah Omidele, OSBC News.
Stories. The National Population Commission has assured that its server is intact and secured to be deployed for the upcoming population and housing census exercise. We also reported that Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke paid an unscheduled visit to Osun Building in Ikoyi, expressed dissatisfaction over poor management of the facility. While on the foreign scene, we reported that Burkina Faso has commenced an investigation into the killings of about 60 civilians by unknown gunmen in military uniform. And that ends the major report on OSBC. It was edited by Adebari Jumakinde. I am Olubumi Ajiboye Agbola. Thank you for being there as always. Good evening.